Some funds were raised entirely for the sake of helping the suffering humanity. I decided to spend that money on the poor people, and that is exactly what we're doing. Not only in one country, but in Ghana, in Nigeria, where are the people suffering. Moreover, we had means of helping people with human sacrifice, which, coupled with the meager financial resources, makes a sizable contribution. But without that human sacrifice, that small contribution financially would not mean anything. Now, our experience tells us that if we spend money ourselves for a good cause, the result is 10 times more satisfactory.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Majid Khan. I've come from USA. I'm responsible for an organization called HF Healthcare Services, which is a subsidiary of Humanity First USA. Why I'm here is to look at a site here in Ivory Coast with a possible collaboration with Humanity First International and trying to get something off ground soon.
And what is your vision for the site here in comparison to what you've done in the past?
The site itself is good. It is close to a national highway. The issue could be of an exit to the highway itself, but I believe that can be resolved. And the general area around is, of course, is the right kind of people we would like to help. It's the middle class people living around, and it is at the edge of the city, no doubt, of Abidjan. But at the same time, we have the potential of bringing the patients as far as 30 or 40 minutes away.
Yes, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. This is my role in Humanity First International is as a senior vice chairman, and I'm also on the board. I'm the chairman of the board that is responsible for the Ivory Coast hospital construction. So the background for this project is that this was conceived several years ago, and then it was on the back burner for a while. Then it has come on after the Ahmadiyya Medical Association of the UK decided to take it over, and then they involved Humanity First in the project, and this is how the project has now advanced. There's been an impetus which is given largely by AMMA UK as well, and also by the needs of the area. And Hazur Talab bin Ismail Aziz is now also aware that this project is now started, so we must now complete it. We'd like this project completed between a span of 2 to 3 years, from start to finish. That's what we would like to do.
So I think Dr. Shabir Bhatti has been very realistic about 2 to 3 years timeline. It is quite doable. From here on, what we are planning to do is to revise the drawings and the plans of the hospital, which were already in place. But the site itself and the requirement and the funding aspect does not allow, for the time being, to go bigger than a certain size. And that size would be, of course, is what we will come up with after doing our due diligence with the feasibility and the patient requirements and the services we are going to offer. So we are going to revise the plans, get all the permissions. We met, like today, even in the morning, we met the Director of Investment and the approvals. And this is in connection with getting the planning permission. And hopefully we should be starting work within a few months. And before, obviously, my target would be, of course, that we should get something off ground by September of this year.
Assalamu alaikum. A project which has the blessing of Huzur approval, and people of Jamaat here and local people, they look towards the initiation, the construction and the finishing of this project, because they place a lot of hope in a bigger hospital. We have a small clinic. We have been trying to give as best as possible some services to the local population. But here in Ivory Coast, the majority of the people, they have very little means. And all the general hospital, although they are public hospital supposed to serve the general population, but either when you go to a hospital, there is no doctor. If there is doctor, there is no drug. Some services, they don't have the equipment, so there is always a problem, which forces the clinic, the patient to private clinic. And for bigger pathologies and diseases, people have a real problem. Sometimes they cross the border, try to have some relief from our hospital at our neighbors, like Ghana and other places. So if you have a hospital here completed, this will be a sort of a lot of relief, especially to that section of the population who earn less than £200 a month. And the more we delay with this project, the more the cost will rise. And already recently, the government has increased even the price of medicine by 20%. So healthcare becomes, it's a big hardship for the local population. And I think the sooner we complete this project, the better it will be for the local population. And it will be naturally a big publicity for Jamaat also.
बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। एवरी कोस्ट में जमात का आगाज़ 1961 में हुआ है और इस वक्त जमात में जो जमातों की तादाद है वो 500 से ज़ायद है और जो तजनीद इस वक्त हमारी बनी हुई है वो 63,000 है और 99 में ये 50,000 मरबा मीटर की ज़मीन खरीदी गई, जिसका हुजूर की तरफ से मादियाबाद नाम तजवीज़ हुआ है और 2007 से ह्यूमैनिटी के मुख्तलिफ प्रोजेक्ट यहाँ चल रहे हैं, जिसमें 300 से ज़ायद नलके हैंडपम्प्स लगाए गए हैं, 30 से ज़ायद मेडिकल कैंप्स लगे हैं और 28 ग्राइंडर मशीनें जो हैं मुख्तलिफ गाँवों को तोहफा दी गई हैं। और अभी पिछले साल से 3 प्राइमरी स्कूलों की तमीर हो रही है जो कि 2 महीनों में मुकम्मल हो जाएंगे। और ये 21 का जो एक सबसे बड़ा प्रोजेक्ट है हॉस्पिटल, जिसकी यहाँ पर ज़रूरत भी है और इस इलाका में तकरीबन 4 से 5 किलोमीटर के इलाका में इर्द गिर्द कोई हॉस्पिटल नहीं है और इस हॉस्पिटल से ना सिर्फ जो जमात के लोग हैं बल्कि दूसरे लोग भी हैं वो इससे फ़ायदा उठाएंगे।
अस्सलाम वालेकुम रहमतुल्लाह। I am here now with Rana Wakas Zafar Saab, who has come on Waqf from Pakistan, from Faisalabad, and he especially come here to work alongside the various building projects. Last year, mashallah, the Majlis Al-Ahmadiyya UK, through their charity efforts and walks, they raised funds to build schools, both in primary schools, both in Ghana and also in Sierra Leone and Ivory Coast and Cote d'Ivoire. And this year, I think Wakas Saab will update us, but they are building in 3 schools and some of them are near completion. Wakas Saab, आप शक्ल में बात कीजिए, बताइए अपने बैकग्राउंड बताइए स्कूलों की।
अभी जो मैंने विजिट किए हैं यहाँ पे आइवरी कोस्ट में जोए एक एरिया है माँ रीजन में, वहाँ पे स्कूल देखा है और वो जो है तकरीबन रूफ लेवल तक कंप्लीट हो चुका है। और उसके बाद मैंने अपना सांप पैदरों में गया हूँ, वहाँ पे एक मिलिट्री फर्स्ट स्कूल बना रही है, तो वो उसकी भी रूफ जो है वो कंप्लीट हो चुकी है, तो बाकी अब दरवाजे खिड़कियाँ वगैरह जो हैं वो लगने वाले हैं। तो उसके अलावा बाकी उसका प्लास्टर वगैरह जो है वो रूम्स का वो हो चुका है। तो इस देखे मैंने स्कूल। और
इधर मादियाबाद में आपको अब क्या इंस्ट्रक्शन दी गई है?
मादियाबाद में मैं एज अ सिविल इंजीनियर हॉस्पिटल के प्रोजेक्ट पे आया हूँ। तो जो एज पर ड्राइंग है एज पर स्पेसिफिकेशन जो है मैंने उसको इम्प्लीमेंट करवाना है यहाँ पे अपनी सुपरविजन में हॉस्पिटल को सारे को।
अच्छा, और जो पहला स्टेज होगा आपने जमीन को पहले लेवल करना है? जी,
पहले लेवल जो है इसको जमीन को लेवल करना है, उसके बाद जो है फिर इसके ऊपर जो फुटिंग्स राफ्ट कॉलम्स जो है वो एज पर ड्राइंग जो एज पर स्पेसिफिकेशन जो है वो हमने इसको एंड मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट क्वालिटी वर्क को जो है वो मैंने जो है इसको इंश्योर करना है कि ये बेहतर हो।
शुक्रिया। और आपके पास तो कोई और व्यूज हैं आपके पास जो ऑब्जर्वेशंस
यही है कि जगह ये बहुत अच्छी है यहाँ पे और भी बहुत सारी बिल्डिंग्स बन सकती हैं यहाँ पे जो जमात को कल को इससे बहुत फायदा हो सकता है। तो लाइक वही सब के प्लान्स में है यहाँ पे काफी चीजें जो भी इंशाल्लाह आगे फर्दर जैसे जैसे होगा वैसे हम इंशाल्लाह उसको बनाएंगे। मैं 1 साल के लिए वक्त पे आया हूँ और उम्मीद है इंशाल्लाह जो मुझे यहाँ पे ब्लेसिंग्स मिली हैं उससे मुझे मेरा दिल चाह रहा है कि मैं अपना वक्त जो है वो इंशाल्लाह आगे और मजीद बढ़ाऊँ, क्योंकि मेरे अंदर काफ़ी ज़्यादा चेंज आई है। क्योंकि पहली दफ़ा वक्त किया क्योंकि मैं वक्त नहीं हूँ, पाकिस्तान में मैंने जॉब की है तो फर्स्ट टाइम मैं आया हूँ यहाँ पे तो मुझे काफ़ी अच्छा लगा है।
So I'd like to thank all of the local hospitality that we received, the Humanity First team that arrived here. As you've heard from Captain Majid Saab and Dr. Shabir Bhatti Saab, and also from Dr. Saab, there is a great need here. The project, we started fundraising in earnest, as many of you may have remember, in 2017. And there were some complications and the local regulations, etc., and drawings have to be looked at. But by the grace of Allah, this new vigor that we started again with, we are seeing positive results. As Captain Majid Saab said this morning, he met with some of the ministries, and also we've had quite a few meetings this morning here with architects and local engineers. And so it is our earnest desire and it's our wish that we fulfill the desire of Hazrat Khalifatul Masih and that we do complete this hospital within the time frame that will be envisaged. But of course we do require our donors of Humanity First globally to support the project, and I earnestly encourage all of you to do, when you have time, look at the project, and if you can, participate in the blessings, because we have seen also the success of the project of Humanity First from very humble upbringings at the time in the last 25 years. But by the grace of Allah, the institution now that we are at and we are aiming to become, to serve humanity as per the instructions of Hazrat Khalifatul Masih, is that there should be no part on the earth where there is need that members of Humanity First cannot come and provide that aid. And having visited West Africa for the first time and been here in Ivory Coast for the last few days, I can tell all the viewers here that you can see immediately that there is immense need for our assistance, and that each pound or each dollar or each euro that you contribute goes much, much, much further than any other organization. Because we are, as we have seen here with Vikas Saab, he's a civil engineer. He's been working in Pakistan. He's given up his time and to come here, and he's volunteered. And as you mentioned, he's become a waqf, and his heart has changed. It changes the hearts of all the volunteers. But if you in your hearts know that you cannot come here personally to help, then your finances or your funds that you donate greatly go a long way. And people like Vikas Saab and Captain Majid Saab who are building, and they have built other areas, they will be able to make sure that each penny of your donation is blessed and goes a great far, much, much more further than others. So please do give generously if you can. Jazakallah.
Serve God's creation and show love towards them. This requires true selflessness and love for others. It requires that a person does not rest until he has solved the problems of others and takes the weight of their burdens onto his own shoulders. It requires that a person's heart is consumed by a love for others, whereby he cares not for his own comfort, but rather he cares only for the comfort of others. It requires that a person is ever ready to personally absorb all forms of distress for the sake of others, to consider the pain of others as though it is his own pain. It requires that a person is ready to bear personal suffering or anxiety so that others can live in peace and contentment.
तेरे बंदे ऐ खुदा सच है कि कुछ ऐसे